What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with me, Tyson the Trainer. Now, today, a little bit of a different topic that I wanted to cover with you guys today. It is about eating your fucking vegetables and getting all your nutrients in for the day. Because as an athlete, you know, you're going to have a high energy requirement, which means you're going to have to eat more high calorie, more dense foods to get a lot of those, to get all your calories in for the day, which is absolutely fine and understandable. But we do not want to go missing out or skipping our essential foods that we need every day. Okay. Now the reason for this is because a lot of things that you eat, you know, that we promote for you to eat every day, your fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, your dairy, all these things, the micronutrients themselves in these foods actually are very important for your body, okay? Because micronutrients don't directly give you energy, you know, but they contribute in energy production and also metabolism overall. And so this is why we want to make sure we are getting enough nutrients in every day and getting our vitamins and minerals in, because if you're missing your micronutrients, you're actually not producing or, you know, performing at your best if you're lacking certain things, you know, because what happens is, certain vitamins, you know, vitamin B, zinc, all these things, they're all going to be play different parts in the body. And if you aren't getting enough of your daily recommendations and you're actually deficient in these, it can actually hinder your performance, you know. B vitamins are important with metabolism, zinc, what else? Iron, like everything has its kind of purpose. All these micronutrients have their purpose in the body. And so it's like we want to make sure you're getting enough of these micronutrients every day, right? This is why I want to bring it back to kind of, you know, certain habits we want to make sure we're getting in every day. Even as an athlete, this is still going to be quite important because when you get these things in, you know you're going to be ticking all the boxes. Yeah? So basically, first of all, we need to make sure we're getting 400 grams of vegetables a day, right? 400 grams of vegetables equals about 5 servings because a serving is about 75 grams. So 75 times 5 is actually 375, but it's pretty close, you know. We're going to get to that 400 gram mark, which means it's quite easy to get these veggies in. If you struggle, you can have veggies in your, like a smoothie, so like some spinach in a smoothie, something simple. Or you could be having veggies at lunch and dinner, so 200 grams at lunch, 200 grams at dinner. Or you can even have, again, like, you know, veggies at breakfast time. If you can have eggs on toast or something like that, you have some spinach on the side with some char grilled tomatoes or mushrooms, anything like that, you know, basically just to be able to get them in. So what I personally like to do is just split up my veggies in two amounts, so 200 grams at lunch, 200 grams at dinner. That way I'm covering all my bases. Now, when it comes to vegetables, we want to try and make sure we are getting a little bit of a variety. So I don't want you to choose the most basic fucking vegetables there are. Don't just choose chicken. Don't just choose broccoli. I'm always thinking of chicken, broccoli, and rice. Don't just choose chicken. Don't just choose broccoli, cauliflower, and carrot. You know, like the three most basic fucking ingredients there are. Get a wider variety in your diet, you know. Look for different things, you know. You've got heaps of different options. I always like to go to the shops and look what's on special. Eggplant, mushroom, zucchini, cauliflower, purple sweet potato, normal sweet potato. You got spinach, you got rocket, you got kale, you got cucumber. I'm just listing off all these things here. There's heaps of different options you can go for. And what I would say is, again, just try and put some veggies in rotations, you know. You can keep some standard ones in there. So if you do enjoy broccoli, keep broccoli in there, or carrot, whatever it's going to be. But just give yourself some variety overall, okay? So 400 grams of veggies is what you want to be able to have each day. Secondly, getting in fruit, okay? Fruit is not only a good source of carbohydrates, and it's also, you know, provide you vitamins and minerals from the actual fruit itself, but within saying that, again, it's got other things in there. I just said it, actually. It's got other micronutrients in there, vitamins and minerals and things like that you're going to need in your body, okay? So again, making sure we're getting 2 servings of fruit or about 300 grams of fruit a day. If you have more, it's absolutely fine. You know, we just want to make sure we're having that bare minimum of 300 grams of fruit a day. And like fruit, where you want to add that in, it's entirely up to you. I like to have fruit as a snack, a mid-afternoon snack, and I also like to have it at breakfast time. Just 2 easy ways to add it in. You can have it as dessert, you can have it as a snack, dessert, and breakfast time, whenever you want to get it in. Because fruit is just delicious, you know? Like, talk about nature's candy. Fruit is just fucking tasty as. So, highly recommend you get some more fruit in your diet overall. All right. Now, with these, you know, getting your fruits, getting your veggies, all the water-soluble vitamins you're going to be getting out of these things, okay? Especially your B vitamins that are involved in metabolism, you're going to just be way better off for getting that, okay? Thirdly, you want to make sure we're getting our whole grains. So whole grains, again, are very important for us. So we want to make sure we're getting at least 4 servings of whole grains a day. Now, when I say a serving size, it's going to be very dependent based on what the packet says. And when I say whole grains, wholemeal, brown, or whole grain, basically, okay? So your brown rice, your brown or your wholemeal pasta, your whole grain, what am I thinking of here? Crumpets, muffins, all those whole meal bread, whole meal wraps, all those things. We want to make sure we're getting a good amount of those in our diet too. So 4 servings a day. It's pretty easy to get. You know, if you have 2 slices of bread, that's a serving. If you have 2 Wheat Bix, that's a serving. If you have 1 crumpet, that's a serving. Like, it's quite easy to get whole grains in. We want to make sure we get them in there too, okay? Because they're actually fortified with vitamins and minerals too, that some of them are. So that way you're actually going to get an extra amount. Then it comes to dairy. We want to make sure we're getting enough dairy in our day, about 3 servings, probably about 4 servings for most people, to be honest. And the reason dairy is so important is because of calcium, you know. Calcium is good for your bones. It's going to prevent osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. It's also involved in muscle contraction overall. So making sure you're getting enough calcium in your body, because if the body doesn't have enough calcium, it will actually leach calcium from the bones, okay? So if you want to have a lower chance of prevention of, you know, getting any negative side effects of osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, or any, you know, low bone mineral density, make sure you are getting dairy in your diet and get it daily. And if you aren't able to get dairy in your diet because maybe you are someone who is, you know, lactose intolerant, or you're again, you know, you don't eat animals, then make sure you are getting a calcium supplement. You want to make sure you're getting about 1,000 milligrams a day, and with that calcium supplement, make sure you take vitamin D as well with that. So you can usually get a vitamin D, vitamin K supplement together, K2. They're going to be the best option for you there. And again, make sure it's 1,000 milligrams of calcium, and ideally 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D too. All right. So whole grains, fruits, veggies, they're going to be a big and dairy. They're going to be a big majority of getting all your micronutrients in for the most part. And then on top of that, we also want to make sure we are getting red meat in our diet. Okay. Ideally for athletes, red meat 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week. Okay. When you're choosing a red meat, we want to make sure we are choosing leaner cuts of red meat, okay? Fattier cuts contain more calories, which isn't too bad. Saturated fat is going to be a little bit higher in red meats itself, so that's why we want to choose a lower fat option, because high amounts of saturated fat is not good for us overall. If you are someone who's an athlete, again, it's probably not going to be too detrimental for you, but for the most part, we want to try and choose lower fat options if you can. And again, the reason we want to make sure we're getting red meat in for our iron intake, which is very important, you know. A lot of people can be anemic, especially females, so make sure you're getting some red meat in, because iron is very important, you know, carrying oxygen around the blood, reducing fatigue, making you feel better, like all these things. Iron is such an important thing, and I would actually suggest a lot of you go and get checked for iron and B12, because that's what a lot of people can pop up deficient in, not just in vegetarian or vegan, but people who don't eat enough red meat, or, you know, don't have a well-balanced diet overall, can be deficient in those things. Okay, so these like basic things that I'm talking about here to get them in your day, they may seem like very like, oh yeah, whatever, it is what it is, but like, you actually don't understand that, like, these are precursors to actually help you in involving with energy production. You know, like, you can't eat fucking broccoli and be like, oh, it's going to give me energy to go and do this thing. Absolutely not. But when the broccoli is broken down, when the vitamins and minerals are taken out of the broccoli and they're used in the body, the cofactors for enzymes that are actually going to be used in the body are needed from our vitamins and minerals, you know. So we want to make sure we are getting them in our diet. Like, it's such an important thing, but I think it gets overlooked a lot, you know. And with all these basic recommendations that I'm saying for you, this will tick off your fiber goal quite easily, you know. So most of you should be getting about 12 to 15 grams per 1,000 calories of intake. So a lot of you know, if you're eating 3,000 to 4,000 calories, you want to make sure you're getting like at least 45 grams of fiber a day. And if you're having your whole grains, you're having your fruit, you're having your veggies, you're smashing that goal, right? And again, if you're having red meat I would say, yeah, maybe like, you know, nearly once a day. So 5 times a week, you're having 400 grams of veggies a day. You're having 300 grams of fruit. You're having 4 servings of whole grain. That's only going to be like 1,000 calories out of all the calories you're eating. Maybe like, let's say 1,300 at most, maybe a little bit more. And then you've got the rest of the free reign to have whatever you want. And like, you know, just eating general foods, higher calorie, more dense things, you know, having your Powerades and stuff like that. You're going to get your electrolytes, so you're going to get your sodium, you're going to get your potassium, you're going to get magnesium from your vegetable intake too, and other foods you're going to be having. You're going to be getting trace amounts of vitamins and minerals from all the extra food you're having anyways. So it'll make sure you're ticking those boxes overall. It's just going to take you time. Like, you just want to make sure you get those essential things in first. So sorry, not going to take you time. You want to make sure you get those essential things in first. Your vitamins, again, your fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, your dairy, your red meat. Then on top of that, you have all the rest of the stuff. So it's like you're just crossing all your T's, I guess you would say. You're getting everything you need, you know? Like, at least you know if you eat this stuff, you can have the rest of the food with whatever you want to have, and there's not going to be any nutrient deficiencies. Because just think, the amount of energy you are using to contract muscle all the time is using up calcium, is using up thiamine, is using up your B vitamins, is using up like a lot of enzymes, because we need enzymes in order to create, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Off the top of my head, enzymes, they are the catalyst to actually make processes happen faster in the body. Okay, like, so, you know, processes in the body can happen, and they can just happen whenever they want, but enzymes speed up that I guess you'd say, like, the kind of thing of the word, the process in the body. So this is why we actually want to make sure we are getting our vitamins and minerals in for the day, because they're such an important component, you know. It's not just about hitting your macros. It's not just about trying to get as many calories as you can. You still want to make sure you are a healthy individual, getting all the nutrients you can, because then you're going to be able to perform at your best, you know? Again, go and get a simple blood test done. Go to see a doctor, get a full blood count, get your vitamin D checked, get your iron, get your B12, even get your hormones checked to make sure. I'm not a hormone specialist, can't talk about that shit, obviously. But again, you just want to get an overall good health screen to get an idea that you are hitting your RDIs, recommended daily intakes of all the things you need to do to help you perform at your best and feel your best. Cool? So it's kind of like a little public service announcement for today's video, but I hope it was helpful, guys. And as always, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's, and I'll speak to you next time.